Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Zakwan Hanif, and today I would like to present to you about the reasons behind why we write about this topic, or the why we write about this topic, which is the normalization of LGBTQ community in the US and how Russia responds to it. First of all, let's take a look about Russia. Let's know a little bit more about Russia. Russia is a country stated or located in, if I'm not mistaken, Eastern Europe. And about the population of Russia, 71% of Russia's population are Orthodox Christian, 10% are Muslim, and others are unaffiliated. That is about Russia. Before we go through the topic, I'd like to tell you about one news. Just recently, on 29th of June, during the G20 summit in Osaka, Putin, the Prime Minister, or not mistaken, the President of Russia, had stated that LGBT community or LGBT values are disrupting the family's old traditional values. On the other hand, he also stated that the liberalism movement in US had destroyed the country's old traditional values itself, which means that, if you can analyze this, it means that Putin has a belief that these new values, such as these new movements, such as liberalism and LGBTQ, is something that we should not follow, or something that we should not accept in our life. Moving on, according to SAMI survey on 2018, we got a data stated that LGBTQ community worldwide have a buying power about $1 billion USD, which is quite a huge amount. That's why most countries, if you remember during the Pride Month, they are changing their icons to the colorful or the rainbow colored icons. I'll show you an example. As you can see here, maybe lighting is not that good. As you can see here, you'll see much familiar icons here. YouTube, Twitter, and even Spotify, they changed their icon to the rainbow color instead of their original colors. Why? I'll tell you later. Since the LGBT community has a high buying power, these companies try to exploit that knowledge because they knew that, according to the survey, 78% of the community will actually buy products from companies that support them. That's why these countries are trying to change their icons to show their support towards the LGBTQ community, despite their personal belief of the LGBTQ community itself. Moving on, let's go through the Pew Research Center. They have made a survey, and they surveyed most countries, especially. And upon their survey, they survey about which countries legalize the same-sex marriage or the gay marriage. And it is stated that from the survey that Russia is one of the countries that doesn't approve gay marriages. Apart from that, citizens of Russia also have a slight disapproval about this LGBTQ community and believe that this LGBTQ community should not be given somewhat we call in the US attention. In a nutshell, the societal acceptance of this LGBTQ community in Russia is very low. Therefore, because of that, since we already got the data, that's why we would like to know how Russia responds and how Russia cater this problem, especially when they are dealing about the LGBTQ community. That's all from me. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'm Ariff Hakimi. I'm going to show about the data showing minority in United States of America and also in Russia. First of all, let's see first the LGBT statistic in United States of America. Based on the statistic prepared by the William Institute, UCLA, School of Law, the LGBT percentage of population is 4.5%. This 4.5% is the lowest amount of group population demographic exists in the United States, which means we can assume that, and we can clarify that the LGBT group is really a minority in United States of America, while in Russia, based on the based on a statistic given by the government, 1 out of 4 people in Russia is supporting and also is the LGBT community, because in Russia the government implemented the gay propaganda law, where this law is opposing the normalization of LGBT in the country, which this makes the society really oppose the implementation of LGBT, which caused the LGBT community itself become the minority in the country. So what we can say here is America and also the Russia, they are sharing the same facts, which is LGBT community in these both countries are the minority one. I think that's all for my part.
Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Mohamed Alfateh, and I will be discussing on the part of how Russia react with this minority LGBTQ people in their country. First of all, we know that US have support all the movement of LGBTQ people in their country, but Russia on the other hand is the one of the strongest country that oppose and discriminate on LGBTQ minority. Since Russia is the people of Russia is made of mostly Christian Orthodox, so they are against this LGBT people, and somehow the hate crimes towards this minority are increasing year by year. Okay, for example, in 2013, a gay man was reported beaten, wrapped with a beer bottle, and got smashed with a rock on his head by a group of people. Other than that, sexual minority, especially gay men, are subjected towards physical attack and humiliation by the anti-gay religion group. Not just that, the violence are filmed so that the public humiliation will increase and put the victims into future danger and targeted oppression. So, what are the measures taken by the Russian government? Doesn't have any laws to cater these hate crimes toward LGBTQ people? According to the Russian Criminal Code, it claims that the government will prevent all type of hate crimes and oppression, regardless of religion, sex, and any part of social group. But unfortunately, these LGBTQ people in Russian doesn't recognize and belong to any group of social people. And as stated by the head of Chief Administration of Internal Affairs of Russia, he said that there is no significant attack on the LGBTQ minority in Russia, and prevention on hate crimes toward LGBTQ people is not necessary. Okay, so how does international people react towards Russia? Basically, European Court of Human Rights have already fined Russia in 2010 due to discrimination, when one of the biggest city in Russia, which is Moscow, have denied the program of gay pride parade in the Moscow itself. And despite of the internal pressure, Moscow still denied any similar event requested by the 100 people of LGBTQ group throughout 2012, with reasons that the participants of the parade will be exposed towards the violence. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
There is no doubt that persecuted sexual minorities have suffered the most egregious form of discrimination, harassment, and violence based on gender identity, sexual orientation, or preference. They have been considered less human and at times even non-human. Their lives, when lost, have been often thought unworthy of being mourned. The conferment of right therefore brings about recognition of humanity and humanness. Such a moment produces a characteristic bond of decades of struggle, resistance, and hardship. Training is key to helping employees and students gain understanding and empathy. For example, an activity that examines common stereotype provide an awareness of misconception about the LGBT community and how misguided remarks can poison a working and learning environments. On a larger scale, instituting a cafe zone training that teach students and employees about hurtful language, how to intervene when discrimination occurs, and how to provide intentional support to LGBT community members signal expectation in an environment that is free of hate speech and disrespectful behavior.
Alright, so to conclude, from the research we can understand that the issue started to rise up when this LGBT community that acts as a leftist movement suddenly came and tried to integrate with the right movement in a particular place or in a country. Also, this issue started to spice up when we see that these leftist movements or the LGBT community, sometimes they push people to accept what they are doing. Or on the other hand, is that sometimes these right movement or local people at certain places that when they see that this is against the norm of people, sometimes they started to aggressively act differently towards these people. That sometimes we see that they as if that they are seem to discriminating them, and also they treat them badly at some point or even at some career or job portfolio. We can see that this LGBT community that who confess what they are feeling right now, sometimes they are being distant from the people around it. And we can see that from the American and the Russian issue, these are the best examples that we can see the issue arises between the LGBT community and the local people that live around them.